Spirituality in the workplace. Now, how does this contribute to work-life harmony? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. And the idea of spirituality in the workplace it's rather new, and especially in larger corporations where they make space and room for yoga and meditation and perhaps a chapel for prayer, and or other places that people can meet for spiritual conversations. But there's also an element of this that's important for us personally. I'm just saying this because it's true. I wrote a book called The ABCs of Spirituality in Business, and it's really looking at who am I being in alignment with my spiritual principles, my spiritual truths. Am I in integrity with the work that I'm doing? Am I in alignment with how I be with the individuals at work? Is there a question of whether this is ethically and morally in alignment with what I want for the world? Those kinds of questions are really, really important. And quite often people compromise their sense of truth, their values, their principles for the sake of money. Well, I have to make money so that I can take Sundays off so I can go to church. I have to make money so that I can pay for my children's education. So we compromise by saying I have to have the money in order to do. And quite often that attitude, that justification isn't in alignment with spiritual truths, spiritual principles. And that's a dilemma. And that quite often creates disharmony in us, a dissonance in us. There's that dilemma, like, how do I make money? And money can be a spiritual dilemma for people. It's like money is just money. Money is just an exchange of paper and coins or credit for work. It's an exchange. But we make it about an ethical issue. But how we use that money or how we make that money, how we create it, that can be either in alignment with our spiritual truths or not. And it's a dilemma for each of us to tackle for ourselves. So spirituality in the workplace, that workplace can be your own office. That workplace can be your whole home. That workplace can be traveling on the road. That spiritual element of life is, in a sense, based on what your own sense of truth is. So it's also one of those dilemmas of that we sometimes practice our spirituality on Sundays or Saturdays or Fridays, and that we don't necessarily allow that integration of those spiritual truths to happen throughout our day, whether it's at home with our children, our families, our friends, our partners, or whether it's at work in the work day. But it's a really important question because for me personally, and I think I find that with more and more clients who are aligning their spiritual practice with their work life. And again, David Whyte's work of the three marriages is like the honoring of the vow, the honoring of the commitment, the reverence of work, that it isn't just a way to make a paycheck. It isn't just a way to get up the corporate ladder, if you will, but that there's a reverence in that experience of work. And that's what I find for myself. The more that I align myself with those spiritual truths and spiritual principles for myself, the better the quality of my relationships with my clients, or the better quality of my writing, the better quality, I'm not sure that's great grammar, but it's that I'm more engaged and more present, and I'm not afraid of where's the money going to come from. I'm not afraid of how my business is going to grow. I don't have a fear as a founding principle of life. And this is true for a lot of people. In a sense, fear is a foundation of so much of our work life. And quite often, It's very much a big part of our relationships with our partners and our children and our friends. If I don't do this, they will leave me. Or if I do too much of this, they will leave me. That worth and deserving piece of all of our relationships that are fear-based. And when we're in the state of fear, we're not ourselves. I had a client today who had been part of a spiritual community. And she, after a very long time, she had been become a teacher and all kinds of good she participated fully in this spiritual community, and she chose to leave because she was finding it wasn't in alignment with her highest truth or highest self. And after she left, she found that her relationships with people shifted because she was no longer pretending, which is fascinating that to acknowledge. And I just so appreciated her acknowledging that while she was part of the spiritual community, she was more pretending to be her, as opposed to we believe that our spirituality would bring about a freer sense of self. I get to express myself because I'm an aspect of the divine which wants this expression in the world. That's my truth, right? And that's what I've heard many, many, many spiritual teachers say is we are an aspect of the divine, and we are here to be that expression in the world. That's our work, to be that expression in the world. And I just loved when she said, I realized how much I was pretending being part of this community. And so sometimes we pretend when we don't use our spiritual principles, and sometimes we pretend when we do. So it's kind of fascinating. And the point of that is, who are you? And how do you want to live your life? How do you want to be in harmony with your own essential nature? How do you want to be in the world in a way that eliminates or minimizes the amount of fear that grows you or constrains you, I should say? And these are the questions that I want you to really sit with, or to have a coach. Get yourself a coach. Get yourself someone, a thinking partner that can help you or support you in having a thought for yourself, like not having a thought for yourself, but giving yourself an opportunity to really listen to your thoughts, to really listen to who you are inside you. That's what I want for you. So coming back to this spirituality in the workplace, I want every place to be that place where you can engage with your spiritual knowing, your spiritual truths, that you are a divine being, unique, with your own sense of worth and value because you are. And how do you want to be that expression in the world? And finding and discovering that avenue for you is what this work is all about, to bring about harmony wherever you are. All right, that's it for today. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so that you can get more notifications when the next videos are coming up. But also, if this was valuable to you, please give me a thumbs up. That would be great. All right, thanks very much. Bye for now.